Hey everybody, Max Kevin here. It's Little Cutie Podcast. It's not too long. You guys been watching TV? Have been using the TiVo? Remember TiVo, guys? I don't know if you guys remember TiVo. This was before Netflix. This is when Blockbuster was still around. This is when the 40-inch plasmas were just hitting the screen. My buddy had the 40-inch plasma. Every day we'd go over to his house. We'd be like, oh my god, look at this TV. It's a 40-inch plasma. It costs $5,000. Oh my god, look at this TV. Let's play Smash Brothers, you know? But now you can get a 100-inch OLED for the, well, I guess the 100-inch one's probably also, it's like $10,000, but you can get a 65-inch LCD, $400 at Walmart, dude. And what's it like? Oh yeah, TiVo. Oh yeah, if you don't remember TiVo was you could record stuff, because like this is before streaming, so your little programs would come on at a certain time of the day there, you'd be like, oh I got a dentist appointment, I can't watch Jeopardy, I can't watch Wheel of Fortune, I'm going to the dentist, I have a cavity, I want to solve the puzzle. Buy the vowel, you idiot! Oh god, So you got the TiVo there, it would record it. But then, now everything's on streaming, so like TiVo is, I guess they must have gone bankrupt, huh? Or maybe they got bought out by something. Anywho, there's this new TV show on the other day. Everyone's talking about it, dude. Everyone's talking about it, dude. It's this new TV show. It's called Two Old Corrupt Pieces of Poop Talk About Nothing for 2 hours. I don't know if you guys, every news agency was talking. They're like, oh my god, did you see the two old corrupt pieces of poop talk about nothing for 2 hours? One of the old pieces of poop, he just lied every time he was talking. The other old piece of poop, he couldn't even talk. He was such an old piece of poop. He was falling apart. He was like a dried out, sometimes when you see the dog poop, and it comes out all fresh and steamy, but that was the opposite of that. It was like, you leave it outside for a day and the flies, and it gets all dried up, crusty. And the ants start coming and the flies start coming. That's what the other piece of poop looked like. He couldn't even make a sentence. He's the ruler of the free world. Of course, I don't want to get too political here on the podcast there, but of course, I'm talking about this the debates there, I don't know what exactly. There was no debating. There's no, we can't even use the word debate anymore. I don't know. But why don't they just call it the propaganda hour? Let's let the two people spread their propaganda hour. I don't there was no debate. Like you're supposed to have an argument. And I don't mean like a fight. I mean like a logical argument. You're supposed to, you know what I mean? You're supposed to cite evidence and Oh boy, this is what our country has become, huh? Oh boy, this is what happens when we let dumb people vote. What? Who said that? What? We shouldn't let dumb people vote? What? Who said that? Anyway, yeah. Who are these? Who is this for exactly? Who is out there in the world that is watching this and they're like, I just don't know. I don't know which one I'm going to vote for. I don't know who I should vote for. Let me watch this. I haven't made up my mind yet. I was thinking maybe Trump, maybe Biden. I don't know. I can't decide. I got to watch this debate, see which one of them wins me over. Oh, yeah, he made some good points there. Yeah, oh, yeah, Donald Trump, he didn't have sex with a porn star. That's a good point. That was a good point there. Oh, and President Biden he got rid of Medicare. Oh yeah, that was a good point there. Oh, I'm still kind of undecided though. I just don't know. God, you ever see these interviews with these undecided voters? They're like the biggest fucking insane, dumb, narcissistic people, I remember watching this one with this guy and he's like, if you want my vote, you're gonna have to convince me that. It's like, well, no one gives a fuck about your, who are all these people that think their vote is gonna be the one that shifts the it's gonna like come down to the wire there. It's like, oh, that was my vote. I did it. I saved America, guys. Oh God. God, I remember talking to people like in 2020 there. Oh, of course, because we have, in America, we have the winner-take-all state system, so like if you don't live in a swing state, like California, my state, California, it's Democrat every time, so it's like every single person that votes Republican, you're just wasting your vote because the Republican will never win. So I always try to convince people, I'm like, well, vote third party because that will actually make a difference, because California is definitely, it's like 90% Democrat, so there's never any reason, and my Republican friends are like, no, there might be a chance. This might be the miracle year. California will turn, even though it's 90% Democrat. This is a protest. It's a protest vote. And it's like, no, that's not. A protest vote would be voting third party, not voting for. You don't know what protesting is. Anyway, and then of course my Democrat friends were like, we need to make it an even bigger landslide. We need to show the Republican Party a message. I'm going to show them a message with my vote. I'm just like, oh God, what is wrong with everybody? What is wrong with everybody? Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude. Like, you ever look back at the 20th century, people are always like wondering, like, how could they let that happen? How could they let Kim Jong-un take power? Oh my God, how could Chairman Mao kill everybody? How could he tell everybody to kill all the birds? Chairman Mao, he thought the birds were eating the crops, so he had his soldiers kill all the birds, and then there was too many insects, because all the birds died because they weren't eating the insects, and then all the insects ate all the crops, and then like 20 million Chinese people died. Oopsies. Then of course there was the Hitler. Everybody knows about the Hitler. Then of course we had the Mussolini. Everybody knows about him. Now all these fucking guys through. Everyone wonders, like, how did this happen? How could this happen? I'll tell you what. If I was there, I would just fucking knock Hitler out, dude. If I was there, I would just walked up to him, just fucking socked him in the face, dude. Just knock him out. Be like, what's up, Hitler, dude? You want to invade Poland, bro? I just knocked you out, dude. And here we are. It's 2024. World's going to shit. And people are actually considering voting for. What? Why do you think all those terrible things happened? Because all these dum-dums. There's just so many dum-dums who just can't. I don't like. Oh God, I don't know. We're gonna have to castrate everyone who has an IQ under 100. I think that's the only solution. I think that's the final solution. Anyway, I don't want to get too political here. I was watching some other TV shows. I have been okay. I like science. I like reading. So do you guys like science? Do you trust the science? So there's these two shows recently. I don't know if you've seen them. One of them's called Dark Matter. It's the opposite of light matter. It's dark matter, and the other one is called Three Body Problem. It's a Chinese book. It's a Chinese book about physics, which is, kind of interesting, considering that, the Chairman Mao guy didn't exactly like science. Anyway, yeah, they're both decent shows. I just watched this one, Dark Matter. It's about this guy who invents this, like, multiverse box, You go in the box and you come out the different universe, where you made different decisions, And so, like, the guy that invented it. Oh, spoiler alert! I'm going to spoil the whole TV series here. So if you haven't watched, the thing about this TV show, it's 9 episodes, and they're each an hour long. But they probably could have made each episode only 30 minutes long. It was kind of a lot of filler, There was kind of a lot of sitting around. It's like, all right, well, this scene's kind of taking a little long. Probably could use some editing. This probably should have been a half-hour TV show, It's not that, It was all right show. It's got what's her face, that one chick from the 80s. I forget her name. She's married to Kevin Kline. Not Sharon Doherty. I forget, but she's hot. She's hot, even though she's like 60 years old. Anyway, so this guy, he invents this box that takes him to the parallel universe, and he goes back in time because in his universe, he him and his girlfriend there, she's like, I'm pregnant, and he's like, abort them, baby. I'm going to be a scientist. I don't have time for the family. And she's like, okay. And then he becomes a scientist, and he invents this parallel world box, and it's like 15 years later, he's like, God damn it, why did I do this? I wanted to live with the hot chick in my family. So he goes to the universe. He uses the box to go to the universe where his family, where he has a family, and then he like kidnaps the version of himself and like switches lives with them, and he sticks the other version of himself in the box, Okay, the character's name is Jason, right? So Jason 1 is the guy who invented the box, and then Jason 2 is like this other guy who has got the family, Or actually, it's switched around. It's Jason 1's the one with the family. Jason 2 is the one with the box, And so then Jason 1, he's like, it's like the next 6 episodes. He's like in the parallel universes. He's trying to get back. He's like, oh God, how does this thing work? Oh God, I got to go to these different universes, And then he's trying to get back, and he finally gets back to his home universe, after some trials and tribulations, And then by that time, Jason 2, he's been fucking his wife for like a month there, and he realizes, he's like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be, man. I thought, this is fucking boring, dude. I should have been a scientist, dude. I don't even like this chick anymore, Spent my whole life thinking I wanted to be with this chick and have a family, and now I've been with her 1 month. I'm already sick of her bullshit, My kid's not even that, he's not even that smart. He's kind of a little pussy, He liked this chick, and now his friend is banging her. That's my offspring? Oh, this was a giant waste of time. So anyway, so he goes, Jason 1, he goes back there, and he's like, and he's all pissed off, and he's like, all right, I'm going to kill this fucking guy. He took over my life. And he goes to the gun store. He's like, let me buy a gun. And the lady's like, sorry, this is Chicago. You need a license. And he's like, goddamn laws. All right, give me a knife. And he buys a knife, and they go, And then a second later, he leaves the store, and then a second later, another Jason comes in. He's like, give me a gun. And the lady's like, weren't you just in here? And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, you were just in here. And he's like, what? Because apparently, this box, right? It puts the things inside of it into a superposition, which is like, I don't know if you guys heard of the Schrödinger's cat, but where the cat is alive or dead, it's in the both states, alive or dead, you can't know until you observe it, and so this box, it puts you in a superposition, and that's how you can travel between the multiverse or whatever, and then I guess like every time they do that, every time you make a different decision, this box like creates a different universe, So it's revealed in the final episode there that like there's like 300 of these Jasons that came back, because like every time they make a different decision, it's like a new universe is created, and like 300 of them found their way back to this universe, So now there's 300 Jason 1s trying to kill Jason 2, And Jason 2 is like, oh fuck, there's 300 of me trying to kill me right now. Oh my god. And then eventually, they've the 300 Jason 1s are like, well, even if I do kill Jason 2, there's still 299 more of me, so we gotta do a little battle royale, and they start up killing each other, And then the hot chick, she just like chooses, even though she knows there's like 300 versions of her husband, she's like, I choose you, Pikachu. And she chooses one version of her husband, and she's like, let's get out of here, let's use the box one more time to go to a different universe, because there's 300 of you right now, and they're all trying to kill us. They're all trying to kill you, so let's get the fuck out of here, And then like all the other Jasons that don't wanna kill him are like, they're like, all right, it's okay, it's your choice. We have to respect your choice. We're just gonna stay in this universe and just beat each other off, I guess, So anyway, it was a decent series. It had some cool ideas, but one thing didn't really make any sense is like Jason 2. Or Jason 1, he comes back, there's 300 versions of himself. But Jason 2, he's also been using the box a bunch of times, but there's only one version of him that comes in. I don't know why there weren't like 300, there should have been like 300 versions of him too, Didn't really make any sense. Didn't really, I guess, you just gotta turn your brain off and not really think about it. It was a decent show. It was alright. Then of course we have Three Body Problem. Three Body Problem's also science fiction show. Science. You guys like science? Do you trust the science? Trust the science. Take this vaccine that we haven't tested on anyone. Trust the science. Anyway, so this three body problem there, it's a problem in physics, It's like, okay, let's say there's the sun, and the earth, and you can calculate the trajectory of the earth going around the sun there, because with the gravity, you can calculate the gravity of the sun and then calculate the gravity of the earth, you can calculate their trajectory spinning around each other, But of course you got the moon there, That's the third one. That's the third body there, It's going around the earth there, And the problem is that, like, when you have the three of them there, it's really difficult to calculate the trajectories. The further out you go, the more room for error there is. So this is called a three body problem in physics. Anywho, this TV show is about aliens. It's about aliens coming there, and these aliens they can make people see shit, Like they make this, they're killing all these scientists. Like the first episode, all these physicists are dying and killing themselves. This one police guy's like, "What's going on? Why are all these scientists killing themselves? I don't understand." And it turns out like the aliens are like making them see a countdown. Like there's this one scientist lady, and she sees like a countdown clock. Like it just appears magically, starts counting down, and she gets these messages. It's like, "You better stop your science experiment, or else the countdown, you're going to die when it gets to the countdown." She's like, "Oh my God, I don't want to die." So she turns off her science experiment. Like she's developing these like nanofibers, these like really strong nanofibers. And the aliens are like, "Turn it off. Don't do your experiment or we'll kill you." She's like, "Okay, I won't do it. I don't like seeing a countdown when I'm walking around." So she turns off her experiment there, And then, it turns out these aliens, they're coming. Like, they got a signal. Like, 50 years ago, they got a signal from Earth, It's like one of the first signals there, And it was like this Chinese lady that was, her parents were killed in the revolution there, the communist revolution there, and she was sent to, like, a slave labor camp, but it turns out she was, like, a smart scientist, so they're like, "Okay, even though you're in the slave labor camp, you can come hang out at this research facility and send signals to space there, so she gets a signal back from the aliens, so she's like the first one to communicate with the aliens, and it's in Chinese, and she's like, "Come," she's pissed off, because her family died, and like she gets the signal back from the aliens, and it's like a good alien, and he's like, "Look, my race of people, they're all fucking assholes, and they're gonna come kill you if they find this signal. It's a good thing I found this signal first. So don't send another signal, because my alien race are a bunch of bitches, and they're going to kill you all." And she's like, "Okay, let me send another signal then." But, she just doesn't even listen. And then the other aliens, some other people from the alien race get her signal, and they're like, "Do you want us to come destroy everyone on your planet?" And she's like, "Yep, come kill them all." And they're like, "Okay, we'll be there in 50 years. Hold on." And so they've been, they're on their way. The aliens are on their way there, And then, like, this old lady, she makes, like, a secret society of, people that can contact the aliens, They're, like, gonna prepare for their arrival, right, And then the aliens, in the meantime, they can only travel, like, 10% of light speed or whatever, and they're coming from Andromeda, by the way, our nearest, not Andromeda. What's the, Andromeda's the galaxy. I'm talking about the nearest star, Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is a three-body system. I don't know if you guys know this. Even though the third one's like a really tiny star system, a really tiny star. Alpha Centauri. There's 3 stars there. But the third one's like a tiny brown dwarf or whatever. So it's really kind of only a binary system. But anyway, it's that's the story. It's like these aliens. They're from the Alpha Centauri system, which is a three-body system. And anyway. So these aliens are coming, dude. They're coming at 10% the light speed, so it's going to take them 40 years or whatever to get there. But they send out these 2 supercomputers that are the size of protons or whatever, because they can send those things like at light speed. So they arrived like after 5 years, these supercomputers or whatever, these proton-sized supercomputers that are like these proton-sized supercomputers are also in a superposition, so they can send back. They're entangled, like they're proton-sized supercomputers that are entangled with other proton-sized supercomputers, so they can send information at faster than speed of light. Which actually you can't actually do. I don't know if you guys know this. Great Michio Kaku, as a scientist, he explains. When people think about entangled particles, I don't know if you guys know what entangled particles are, but they're basically two particles. Let's say you got one, and you got the other one. One's on the other side of the universe there, but whatever you do to one of them happens to the other one, because they're actually the same particle, just kind of in two different locations, And so, like, if you poke one, the other one gets poked too, But actually, you can't actually transfer any information. You can't communicate any information with entangled particles because the thing is when like Schrodinger's box there, they're until they're observed, they're in a superposition. They're in like a they're neither up nor down, until you observe them, and then like when you observe the one that's up, the other one's down, right? And so your active observation is what puts them in the position of either up or down. Before they were in both states, they're in both positions of being up and down until you observed it, and then you observe it. But you can't actually. The thing is, you can't actually transfer information because they were always in that state. You just didn't even you didn't actually. They were in the state before you observed them. You never knew. So I guess the person that wrote that book never actually knew enough about entangled particles to know that they can't actually send information there. So these whole supercomputer things don't even make any sense in the first place. And so they send these supercomputer things that are, they can travel at the speed of light. So they can make people see shit. They can make people see countdown alarms. And they can make people commit suicide, and they can like turn the lights off. They can turn the stars off. Like no one can see the stars, and they can like take over all of the TVs at the same time. And they say we're coming to kill you. We're coming to kill, but they got these two supercomputers that are already on Earth that can make people go crazy and make people kill themselves already, and like they can. So why don't they just use those two supercomputers to kill everyone on the Earth? Like they don't even have to do anything. That didn't really make any sense. Plus the whole idea of the show, it's like these aliens, like they've achieved. Like why do they even need? Like they said their home planet is like being destroyed, but like why do they even need like an alien race that had achieved that type of technology would be able to just like live on a space station, like a Dyson sphere, surrounding their star there. They wouldn't even like they would be harvesting stars by that time. They wouldn't give a fuck about planets. It doesn't even an alien civilization that had reached that level of technology would, they would be like, let's try to harvest this black hole. They would be working on harvesting black holes. They wouldn't give a fuck about planets. There's nothing that the whole goddamn premise of the whole TV show doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's a decent show. It's a decent show. The girl eventually makes those microfibers, and then like those micro nanofibers, and then like makes a little grate of them, and like tears up this ship and like cuts all these people and children into little tiny pieces. It's a pretty cool scene. It's a pretty cool scene. I think the TV show cost $300 million. It's made by the people that made Game of Thrones, even though it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know why it cost. No one knows why it cost $300 million because there's not really that many special effects. It kind of doesn't really make any sense there. It's a good show though. Yeah, it's a good show if you don't know anything about physics and you just turn your brain off. It's a decent show. I guess it's better than the old two poops. Old two poops spewing propaganda. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for listening, man. We'll see you tomorrow.